Well, hello, Lord Marshal, family, and friends. What's up, guys? It is game 2 for the Quarantine Hammer tournament that we're doing. We're having an awesome matchup, Space Wolves versus Imperium. It's a good guy match, but that's all relative, right? Anyway, just want to introduce Wes. He is here today. We're also having Kyle McCord and Sean here. Hey, guys, say hi. All right. Well, they're kind of shy, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to talk.
Oh, you could totally talk. Just say hi. Cool. All right. We'll let them get started. And looks like they're going to start deploying. And my co-host is the awesome Ben Cherwin. He won last night's game. Ben, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Yep. So we're pretty happy to have him out here tonight.
Sorry, say that again.
Absolutely, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Hopefully this game goes a lot quicker than the last one.
What are you talking about?
Hey, Donovan, the second match was the third. Well, kinda. What, they refuse? No. Okay, perfect. Well, you guys in chat, we appreciate you guys for joining us today. We're gonna go over the list real quick while they keep deploying.
Remind me, how is it you rotate?
So I'm going to start with Sean's list since he seems to be the one deploying currently. He's bringing, looks like pure Space Wolves. His first detachment's a Vanguard detachment.
What was the key
He's got
command?
Najal the Stormcaller, and then he goes right into Wolfen squads. He's got 3 squads of Wolfen. Each have a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, but the Wolf Pack leader has Frost Claws. I think that's pretty standard. And then he also brought a Rhino with them. So it looks like he might shove a couple of Wolfen in there. Going down, we got a battalion detachment of Space Wolves with Logan Grimnar, a Wolfguard battle leader with just a jump pack, a Power Fist Storm Shield, and he's got the Relic Armor of Not Rust. Brian's gonna hate me for saying that.
Yeah, that's okay.
The troops, we've got 3 squads of Blood Cause. They're all equipped the same with chain swords, bolt pistols, and the pack leader's got a chain sword. And then he's got an air wing detachment of 3 Frost Stormfang gunships. These guys come with a lot of anti-tank with 2 last cannons, a twin heavy bolter, and they also have a decent carrying capacity too. So you might see some stuff getting shoved inside those, maybe some Blood Claws, Wolfen. We'll see where he puts them. It looks like he's got 2 Wolfen off to the side and looks like 1 on the board. So I would assume that the 2 Wolfen are in some of these gunships somewhere. But let's head on over to Kyle's list, and it looks like we got a mixture here from what I can see on the board of iGuard and AdMech. But let's look at what the list says for sure. So we've got a battalion of Space Marines. It is Iron Hands, Successor with Master Artisan, Sons of Medusa, and Whirlwind of Rage. So Master Artisans, that's the free reroll of hit and wound. And then the Whirlwind of Rage, I believe, is the extra attacks on 6s when you charge. Then he's got a captain on a bike with a chainsword, storm shield.
Made this look so easy.
I would imagine that he buys the Teeth of Terror for this guy. Otherwise, he's just kind of a wiener. And if he doesn't, that's fine. He can be a wiener. And then he's got a Primaris Lieutenant on foot with a power sword. And then Valand Call with the servo harness and flamer. That is the Forge World Tech Marine for Iron Hands. I'd have to look up his data slate to really kind of give you a look into what that does. I've never seen him before, honestly. I played a lot of 40k, so that's shocking. His troop squads, it looks like he's got 3 squads of scouts with combat knives and bolt pistols. That's pretty standard. Company champion with the Mastercraft power sword. You've seen those come out of the woodwork with Faith and Fury, being able to upgrade them and give them warlord traits, relics, whatnot. Doesn't look like he's done that here, but it could be just a countercharge unit in the back. He's rocking a Mortis Dreadnought, which he undoubtedly is going to make this guy a character. So he has 4 last cannons that just gets to shoot all game without being touched unless it's a sniper weapon that can target characters. And then a Relic Leviathan Dreadnought. Nobody is shocked by this thing. It's in every single Iron Hands list. I bet you he makes that a character too and gives it a 5-up Feel No Pain. Then we go down to a Battalion of Guard. We've got the Tank Ace ability being used here. If you guys don't know what that is, Tank Aces gives the tanks special abilities like a 2-up save or an extra minus on their battle cannons or whatever their main turret is. And it looks like he's got 3 identically equipped tank commanders here with battle cannons, heavy bolter, and heavy bolter sponsons, maybe plasma cannon
The
sponsons.
maximum.
It's hard to say
range
because
on the Wolfen.
one of them has plasma cannons, the other one has heavy bolters. It looks like, and the other one. All right, so we got 2 plasma cannons. Sorry, my apologies. 2
Yeah, I was
plasma
like,
cannons.
what's going on here?
Hey, chill out. The list is weird. It's got relics in between his war gear, so my apologies. But he's got 1 with heavy bolters and 2 with plasma sponsons. So these guys are going to put out a lot of strength 8, 2 damage shots
Is
at
there
minus
anything that
3,
lets them double move?
36-inch range. So those guys are nasty. The newest book really helped them out in the Psychic Awakening. So you're going to start seeing lots of guard tank commanders because tank commanders are really good. And he's got 3 squads of Scions with hotshot las guns. So he's just using these guys to get some CP. And then an Astropath for a little bit of psychic abilities. Moving down to his spearhead of Mechanicus, we've got a Tech Priest Engine Seer. That's just a 30-point HQ. And then 3 Scorpius Disintegrators with the Belarus Energy Cannon. If I'm not mistaken, the Energy Cannon is like strength 7, minus 3 damage. Or is the Energy Cannon the shoot out of line of sight one? I think it's the shoot out of line of sight one.
Sounds good.
I'm going to look that up. I'm not familiar with the names these AdMech guys have with all their weapons, so I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna see if that's the out of line of sight shot, if that's the straight 3 damage shot guy. But those guys are really nasty either way, even if they do need line of sight. But they're the profile not out of line of sight. One is strength 6 minus 1, 2 damage, and then the other one is strength 7 minus 3 damage, or minus 2. One of those 2.
Is that ruins?
So either way, these tanks are very efficient. They're only 112 points. Expect them to do some decent work for Kyle here.
So Ben, in your opinion, which list is built to be more competitive in the meta?
Oh, 100% Kyle's. You've definitely got just a lot of min-maxing here, taking the very cheap engine seer with no upgrades, with the 3 Scorpiuses. You've got the Relic Leviathan, the Mortis Dreadnought, which are very straightforward shooting Iron Hands. Then you've got the Scions, the Scouts. Kyle's definitely got a competitive list that you would actually see at a GT. Sean over here has a list that looks like it.
Sorry, it's the one at the bottom.
You know, the Rhino's a little bit iffy, but you know, it can give a little bit of armor. But the 3 Phosfangs is where I think it's gonna throw people for a loop. I'm not gonna say it's the best Space Wolf build because there aren't a lot of characters here, but it looks like a good mix. It's not a hyper competitive list, but it is a list that at least has aspects that can compete. It's not a straight up fluffy list. Like, you don't see one of each squads of Grey Hunters, Blood Claws, and one of the Primaris Marines. You've got some decent units here in the Wolfen and the Frost or the Stormfangs. But as far as the 2 lists goes, I'm gonna go Sean. This is a lot more well balanced and competitive. I'm not gonna say well balanced actually. Sean's list or Kyle's list is all shooting. It has very little combat, whereas this army over here is half combat, half shooting. So we're gonna see if the Wolfen can make it. If the Wolfen can make it, I think he's gonna really disrupt the lines here. But they got to make it. That's the first and foremost.
Yeah, that's kind of my first impressions as well. I was looking over the list, put them on the website. So if you're new to us today, this is Quarantine Hammer. Obviously, the coronavirus has definitely shut down all the events in the, at least in the United States and probably all across the country. And so our goal was to just put something together to feature a lot of the Lord Marshall conference players, and this is what we're coming up with right now. So if you go to our website, lordmarshall.org, and you click on Quarantine Hammer, you can actually take a look at all the lists that Ben is referring to, as well as all the other players that are playing in the event. On top of that, we do have stats for all these players. So if you don't mind, Ben, could you pull up Kyle's stats for the Lord Marshall Conference real quick?
Absolutely.
Games just go slower on here.
So Kyle, he has 10 wins in the Lord Marshall Conference. He usually wins 2.67 games before he loses. He's attended 3 events. He's got an 88.89% win rate. He's played only Imperium, and he averages around 31 victory points a game. Right? That's pretty good. 31 is a pretty high number. For competitive play, a 20s win is kind of like that's a closer game. Once you breach the 30s, it's kind of turning into a pretty big win. So to average 31 points is pretty good. Then I'm assuming we should shift down to Sean. And Sean has 4 wins in the Lord Marshall Conference. He's attended 2 events. Usually loses his first game. That's okay. He's got 35% win rate, but he averages 21.7 victory points a game. So he is putting up points at a good enough time. If you're losing a lot and you're in the teens, that's when you should really, look at like, if you want to be competitive, is this the right army for me? But he's putting up 20-something points, which means he's playing the mission. He's moving the models where they should be. It's just coming up short, which is okay.
The wolf and all
But definitely nothing to shy away from. I did look up the stat lines on which weapons Kyle has on those disintegrators, and he does have the shooting out of line of sight ones with the strength 6, -1, 2 damage. It's 3d3 shots at 36-inch range, and it does not need line of sight. That's the big part. The other one that I was mentioning is the Fulbright, and that is strength 8 -3 damage. That's an FYI. So just clarifying from what I was mentioning earlier, the stat line of that weapon. It looks like we've got some deploying from Kyle going on. Sean deployed very defensively with his Frost Fangs in the back corner here, on the back table, with the Wolfen and his characters shoved right at the front so they can try and get to Kyle as soon as possible. But he's got some Wolfen on the subjective over here, which, he's going first, so he's be able to get those hopefully into a spot where they cannot get shot or at least take as little damage as possible. Again, he's going to probably move these Blood Claws up, take this objective. Same with this objective number 5 with these Blood Claws here in the middle. Kyle looks like he's putting everything on the backfield so that he can take as little damage as possible. I don't know if that's going to work. He's got a thing against flyers. I'd deploy a little aggressively because those guys can go out and touch whatever they want. I just try and do as much cover as possible. That's me. But I can see what he's doing here is putting the tank commanders in the back, so he's getting lines of sight on the backfield so that Sean can't necessarily hide the Wolfen. At some point, a tank commander's going to be able to shoot them. Yeah, you're fine. And then the disintegrators can move up into range and possibly get shots into that ruin where all those Blood Claws and Wolfen are hanging out in the middle there. So I think it's a solid strategy by Kyle. Also solid strategy by Sean in the back with the Stormfang gunships. Since they have so much movement range, you don't really necessarily need to be on the front line. So it's going to be interesting to see how turn 1 shakes out with the Stormfangs. I keep saying Frostfang. That's the other variant that has 2. Sorry. But the Stormfang gunship definitely having that main gun up in front could disrupt these tanks a little bit. We'll see what happens. Looks like we got some deep strikers here in the Scions, and the scouts are going out right now. Those are probably going to infiltrate 9 inches away and cause some disruption. Maybe. I don't know if I do that. I don't know if I give the Wolfen any extra inches, but we'll see how it works out for him.
The black line.
He's definitely putting some scouts behind the wall over here. Maybe those guys aren't being placed and they're just having the 9 inches being measured there. One of the things with Tabletop Simulator is you have to get down and look to place guys into ruins. It's just how it works. And as you can see, the scouts kind of bunched themselves up there because he clipped that top level. So if you do boot up Tabletop Simulator, just know that when you're placing models in terrain, you really got to angle your camera down and get
After
on their
that, I
level,
think
just
I'm
like
good
you
to
would
go.
have to do in the tabletop with your hand. Only you have to do it with your vision here on the simulator. So
Right, it's just a little bit different, isn't it?
yeah, just a little bit different.
That's
So
cool.
they're gonna finish up deploying here.
Let's take a look
my
at their
prediction-
secondaries real quick.
The lieutenant should be within
Yeah,
3 of
let's
the
do that.
Leviathan.
So up at the top, we've got Kyle on the left as player 1, and Sean on the right as player 2. Kyle has selected Big Game Hunter, marked for death. I don't see what units he's marked yet. I'll get as soon as I see that
Absolutely.
go up, I'll let you guys know. And then behind enemy lines, that's scoring
Wait, you're
a
kidding,
unit
right?
wholly within his
Yeah, but I'm still expecting
deployment
you to roll.
zone. 2 or more and 3 will get you 2 points. After turn
All right,
1,
game.
you can score the first point
I'll get
turn
the
1, but to get 2
Luck.
points, it needs
Good
to be turn
fortune, sir.
2. Over on Sean's side, he has selected Headhunter, Big Game Hunter as well, and then Old School. Old School is an interesting choice. Previously in the old ITZ missions, you would see Old School quite a bit. It was almost an auto take for most armies. Now that it's changed to the attacker defender style, we've seen that go away quite a bit. So it's interesting to see it picked here because
Your gunship,
normally
dog.
it's just not there. But with these flyers, I could see why you pick it because getting that first turn kill is going to be crucial for him to get this point, and he can do it with the flyers. Now, some other lists don't do that, so I like the pick. Getting a unit all the way to the back at the end of the game, that's going to be something that could be a little bit difficult. He's got to have these planes survive, and if they have anything inside of it, that has to survive as well. Because I think the planes cannot score it in the new ITC missions, if I'm not mistaken. They can do recon, but I don't think that they can
Do you want
score
them in that
behind
gap?
enemy lines.
I'll mess with those while you move other stuff.
Or correct me if I'm wrong, or the old school.
That's probably accurate. But I have to step away for 1 second, Ben.
There's plenty of movement to
I'm
be
gonna
I've been
leave.
doing all the talking anyway. It's all good, baby.
after
Yeah, you're doing really good. It looks like my daughter has to go to the bathroom, and she's 3 years old. Oh, yeah, she's 3 years old, so it's gonna be a little hard. Don't want her to pee on the floor.
Grimnar will have
But give me 1 second, Ben. Go ahead and narrate for us if you don't mind.
got plenty.
You can see here as he's trying to place this the Stormfang down. He's having a little
You can
trouble
leave
getting it down.
It's over.
That's fine.
That's just normal
close enough.
TTS working there. He's just clipping the ruins and the box there at the same time. I'm not sure. I haven't played a whole lot with flyers yet, so I don't know how their base interaction is going. So we'll work
Good
through
move,
that.
buddy.
Looks like he's moved all the Frostfangs up to the right side here, and he's probably gonna go into this the Scorpius Belarus here on the by the 2 objective,
I
or
need to let
the
you
tank
know
commander.
What canticle
Either
I'm
one of those are
starting
a
in.
good option.
I'm gonna start in
With the Frostfangs
Shrazam.
or Stormfangs.
Sure.
Gosh, I keep calling them Frostfangs.
And
My apologies.
if I forget to
We
say
can
I'm
see
not
his
gonna
advance.
until I get to assault.
Nothing yet, so he's just working those flyers, working the
I am-
characters behind the
Yeah,
flyers,
and also
making sure that
my
they're screened
Russes, unless I call
properly so they don't get blown away. Looks like he's gonna move the Wolfen up.
I am
If you guys don't know, the
pseudo
easiest way
Catachan. I
on
am
Tabletop
plus
Simulator, it looks like he's advancing
6
with
inches
Wolfen
on
actually.
range, and then
The best way
reroll,
to
one
move
die-
models
one or both
is
die
to
contribution.
select the unit,
Sure.
grab it with the
Oh, sorry.
cursor,
I
which is the
reroll
left click,
one
and then
dice,
you hold
but
tab,
the cannon
and it'll
never
measure
rolls.
how far you get to go then. That's the best way to use it. So it looks like he's gone up the left side here. Probably going to make a charge on those scouts and try to bounce behind this big wall here, which is a good
advancing
move.
these
Then he
boys.
can only eat the Belarus shots, the Scorpius. I'm sorry, that's the name of the weapon. But the out of line of sight
Wait, are
shots.
you advancing the Wolfen?
Yes.
You can see the big bad Leviathan right there. He's got a 24-inch range.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not sure. I can't
Oh,
measure as a
that
spectator,
wall,
but
okay.
I would assume that wall is going to give them pretty much a good cover from that, or they're going to be out of range of him.
Yeah,
And
it's a 4-inch wall.
Correct.
Yeah. And here's what it looks like from the tabletop. So
You can see he pulled those Wolfens out from the back side of the ruins. There's what I was talking about, the ruins. If you don't get down on their level, they just kind of bunch up in a ball. Sometimes it's unavoidable. But it looks like they advanced 2. So really, he's crashing the left side with his melee, which is where the dreadnoughts are, which is a good call if he can get there. There's still a lot of space here to make up in between this wall and this objective number 1, where most of his army is placed behind. So we'll see if he makes it through turn 1's shooting phase to get over there. But the Wolfen can advance and charge, so that's a plus. They're going to use these scouts to kind of bounce off of and get behind that wall, or get closer if they can't get behind the wall. I think what Sean's got to really, really focus on here is making sure that this Leviathan cannot shoot his Wolfen at all, somehow. Whether that's he makes a charge and strings out, and then traps these scouts here, right next to the Wolfen, so he doesn't kill them. He just traps them in combat, so he can't be shot, and then kills them on Kyle's turn. If he does that, that is going to be very bad for Kyle. Like, if he rolls like a 10-inch charge with each of those Wolfen, gets 10 inches up, wraps him, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
But I think 3 Wolfen, even with the Thunderhammers, swinging in, he's going to get the +1 for charging for being Space Wolves. I don't think the scouts survive, even if he wants them to live. So that could be problematic, but he's got to absolutely make sure that this Wolfen, some of them live. Some of them are going to die. It's just unavoidable at this point.
Yeah, but he has 3 squads of Wolfen, so maybe 1 squad dies, but 2 more get into his lines. I mean, that's almost game over at that point.
Unless I want Iron Hands. What does it do?
Kind of. The big problem that he's going to run into is that this big guy here, the Leviathan, he's 2 damage. This Scorpius here, all his big cannon is 2 damage. This tank commander here is the heavy bolter tank commander. This guy's main gun is D3 damage, but the heavy bolters are 1 damage. So this is why he's brought the Wolfen to this side, because all the big bad 2 damage from the tank commanders is on this by this objective number 2. But this tank commander here in the middle could easily swing over. The beauty of Kyle's list that's going to work out here is that he doesn't need line of sight with these Scorpions, so he's going to pull them up and shoot the Wolfen anyway.
Is he within range?
If the Wolfen make their saves, Sean could be in a good spot. We're just going to have to see how that plays out. I think that the Frostfang should kill this Scorpius, or the tank commander. Either one's a good choice. And then try and wrap these scouts.
I'm a successor.
Getting a kill turn 1 is pretty important for him because he's got old school.
My successor
So he's got to make one of these happen. So if he doesn't kill this thing in shooting, the Scorpius or the tank commander, he's got to kill the scouts, and then his Wolfen are in the open.
If I'm charged or intervene or
Well, it sounds like everything relies on the Wolfen. Is that pretty accurate? Is that the crux of Sean's list right there?
It absolutely is. I mean, these characters over here on the right side, the Wolf Battle Leader and Logan Grimnar, they're nothing to shy away from.
Right.
But we've got Najal over here, which, he's not a schlub, but he's definitely not a close combat god. And then there's just a ton of points in all these Thunderhammer and Storm Shields on these Wolfen. And the Wolfen are really good, but they're easily shot. So I'm concerned for Sean if he doesn't get behind this wall and this Dreadnought can shoot. The Dreadnought shooting is going to determine it. If the Dreadnought can't shoot the Wolfen, I think he's in a good spot. I don't think it's I think it's unavoidable.
And then heavy bolters.
So, personally, with the Dreadnought and how that wall is angled.
Yeah, so this is the view from the Dreadnought. As you can see that there is a very small corner of open space here and here. So, in my opinion, the odds are very bad for Kyle not being able to shoot anything come the next turn. Would you agree with that, Ben?
Sorry, I didn't mean to spring your codex on you.
Oh, 100%. But we'll see. Got to see how this shooting phase turns out. Has he started shooting anything? I don't see any large amounts of dice being rolled yet.
No, I don't think so. I think they are still moving. I think sounds like there's been a couple rules discussions. We can tune in the players for a few minutes and kind of get their input. How's that sound, Ben? You've talked a lot for now.
Rerolling failed. Rolling 3s because I have old wording. Okay, these are on 5s, rerolling 1s. You got 6 saves over here. -2.
All right, I take 1 there. Let me get more dice.
Okay. Hitting 2 las cannons and rerolling the 1. I will spend a CP on the other one. Failing both.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take 3. Which is that? Which was that the higher
That was
Scorpius that got shot at?
Yeah, it's the one over by number 1 that I was shooting, and I missed both. The one that I was shooting with the heavy, that one that was shooting with the heavy bolter is at 2.
Okay, so I took 3 on that one.
Sure.
I'm gonna move. Dumb question. How do I program that?
Yeah, left click it up.
Hey, Marion, in the chat, we were playing, I believe, the ITC maps mission. Ben, do you know where we got these maps from? Do you remember?
Those things are really
Are you talking about the terrain setup, or are you talking about the objective setup?
Terrain.
The terrain setup is from the LVO Top 100. Each different deployment has set terrain. So this would be the Spearhead Assault terrain. Every one of those has a big rune in the middle that blocks line of sight for each player. And then there's a bunch of walls and little runes that you can hide in, like where that Leviathan is by number 1 and the Rhino is by number 5. Yeah, so they were played at LVO in the top 100.
Does it have 2 twin heavy bolters?
I believe Frontline Gaming is behind the terrain setup. I think they had some outside help with some playtesting and such, but for the most part, from ITC.
Did you like the terrain setup? Does it help you out at all?
Here's what I'll say about it. I like it because it's got a good amount of terrain on it. What I don't like is that since you have every map that shifts to have a big rune in the middle of every deployment zone, every game, no matter what deployment style it is, tends to end up being very similar. So if I were to play, let's say, Knights on 3 different maps, it's going to feel very similar every game just because of how I'm going to deploy the same areas. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nope. That's exactly right. That's kind of how I feel as well. But I do like that all the terrain will be essentially equal on all sides of the board. Relatively equal.
Correct.
Okay, rerolling. 3s. Yeah,
what he's doing here.
Okay. Both hit. And both wound from the las cannon.
So he is shooting at that Scorpius.
Negative $1 billion.
We'll see if he ends up killing it.
Invuln save.
Currently, 5 wounds left on this Scorpius right now.
More damage. Oh.
Yeah, he had a pretty bad ping spike there at the end. I'll re-invite him real quick.
All right.
Nope, looks like we just lost a player. If not, we could always have Wes play the game for him. I think that'd be fun. Control Alt Delete 33.7. Massive gaps, 3 times as big as a Womp Rat. I would agree with that. Maybe like the size of 3 Gaunts. Maybe we should just like what? Describe everything in Star Wars terms for this game. What do you think?
Nope.
No,
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. Okay. It's a bad idea, huh?
It's fine. You guys can do it. I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna do it. Okay, cool.
I don't want to end up sounding
Stupid.
Star Wars.
That's cool.
Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
All right, we're making sure that he is coming back on. So a little bit about the Lord Marshal Conference. Ben, you are the 2019 winner for the Lord Marshal. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep. So you won. It's a essentially inaugural season with us busting out into different areas. Pretty awesome. Pretty happy
Super
we
awesome.
did that.
Absolutely.
Are you planning on defending your title?
How do I accept the invite?
Well, we'll see what coronavirus has to say, but right now, yeah, I am 100%.
100%. Well, it should be over by early May, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, cross our fingers. That's like tournament season, man. Do you have any events that you're planning on going to in May?
I think Midwest Conquest canceled.
Right.
So I think the Flying Monkeys are putting on a GT in Wichita, and in place of that time frame. So I think I'm going to shoot for that one first. And then I'm going to try and do Bug Eater. I'm going to try and do Siege World and Show Me Showdown. And then Iron Halo, obviously.
And you're also going to do Conflagration, right?
Probably not. And as much as I want to do Spring Conflag, because it's tied directly to the GT that I run, Renegade.
I don't see where the invite is.
It being on Mother's Day weekend and me being a chef, that's a pretty busy weekend for me. And I can't, in good conscience, take that off and be like, you guys got to work the busy weekend.
Right,
Sorry.
right. That's fair. Why did they schedule it for Mother's Day weekend? That's nuts.
I think when they were looking at open weekends at Fantasy Flight, where it's being held, they were like, well, this is nice. This is, 2 weeks away from Midwest Conquest, so we'll be okay here. And I just don't think they were looking that it was Mother's Day. That's my theory.
Yeah, they probably don't have a lot of mothers, right?
Or I'll go to my tag
Correct.
and right click and
So,
hit join game.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
I think a lot of people are still gonna go because there's some people out there without, kids and moms and stuff. But
Sure.
I think they'll lose a little bit of attendance because of it, but not nearly as much as you probably would think.
That's probably accurate. I would agree with that as well. So you guys in chat, what are you doing right now? You're just sitting there hanging out, watching the stream.
I should probably pull up and see what people are saying in the chat, huh?
Well, there's a couple people that are saying some things, which is kind of nice. We appreciate it.
Whoa, man. 12 viewers. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing really good. Well, we're happy you're here with us, joined us for this awesome event. This is game 2 of the Sweet 16 bracket. Tell us a little bit about your game yesterday, Ben.
Yeah, yesterday was a lot of fun. I've got to play against 3 Wraith Knights, which I haven't seen a Wraith Knight on the table in a very long time. So that was fun. Steven is a terrific player. Never heard of him, never played him before.
Keeps asking me for a server password.
So it's fun to get a game against somebody of high level as he is. What tipped me off for that is how he deployed and played his first turn very cagey, made it pull back on the damage that I could do to him, which was refreshing. But ultimately pulled back a little bit too hard for too many turns and ended up kind of costing himself the game, which is okay. He was unsure how his Wraith Knights would handle my Paladin bombs, which is fair because they do pretty well against them if they have their buffs up. but he played it very well, and he's a fun guy to play against, which is hard to find in somebody who's pretty good at 40K. A lot of these top players are in it to win it, if you know what I mean. And so sometimes it's hard to get an enjoyable game out of it.
LMC work?
Yep, I can totally agree with that. I've known Steven for about, 4 years. 4 or 5 years. He actually came to the first Iron Halo, believe it or not. So it was pretty awesome. Yarum, I think what we're using is the top ITC 100 map. So it's a pretty awesome map. You'll be able to select different deployment types. You can select different ITC layout missions. It's pretty awesome if you were trying to.
What name would he search to find that underneath the tabletop simulator? Do you know?
I think it's ITC 100. I could be wrong. We'll have to ask Wes. He's the guy that is the TO for this event, and he is really just putting this on. Super awesome, super helpful. Wes runs the Branson Open. That's going to be in early June. So come on out if you want.
Okay, now we're booting back in.
Okay, looks like Kyle is coming back into the game. Pretty awesome.
Okay, Sean, I owed you 2 rolls.
Do you have an invuln save on your?
Here we go. The players again.
All right, sounds good.
You're a -4, so I have a 6 up because I'm at 2 up with Shroud Psalm.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Interesting thing about these two lists is after deployment, they really don't have a ton of CP each. They're at 6 each. That's not a whole lot in this day and age, but we'll see if it works out for them.
Would you bring either one of these lists to a tournament?
Did we get, or are we still trying to get loaded in?
No.
Yeah, it says I'm spectator. Hang on just a second.
Just because I don't own a Leviathan, and I don't want to. I think that I'm not slandering Forge World by saying this, but some of their rules writing gets a little crazy sometimes, and I think that he's one of them.
Okay.
And without the new Spaceman Codex, he was fine, but with the new one, he's a little intense.
Let go of it first.
But
yeah,
I mean,
hover over it and then hit R. No,
it's not.
Just hover over it and hit R. There you go.
There's so much content out there. It would be so hard for the playtesters to catch it all.
I take 2d6.
No, I would agree with that 100%.
I'm not saying they're doing a bad job. I'm just saying that some things get missed, and that's okay. We'll work through it. But the recent nerf to Space Marines, I think, is what really birthed Kyle's list
what
here.
Is that?
Because he no longer cares about the combat doctrines. He's just going to use the stratagems and all the different tools that the Iron Hands give him, without the doctrines.
Counting it down. While
strengthening it with like tank commanders and these Scorpiuses here. So it's interesting to see the meta shift a little bit that way to being more of a soup Imperium rather than pure Space Marines, which is nice to see because I got to tell you, as a tournament player, it's not fun playing, going to like a 6-round GT and playing 5 out of 6 Space Marines. 4 of them being Iron Hands, 1 being Imperial Fists. So the nerf was good. I like it. It makes it more diverse army pool, and when you have that, that's when you attract more people and less of the I don't want to say tryhards, but less of the people who are only taking the most powerful stuff. We'll say the net listers. How about that?
The net listers, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Asante 13 says Iron Hands are dead. Do you think they're really dead, or do you think they just got toned down a little bit?
No, I don't think they're dead at all. I think that they're still one of the most powerful Space Marines.
Here's pistols.
Just for an example, this Leviathan, if he was pure Iron Hands, this thing could stay in the heavy doctrine all game long.
10.
And that's pretty annoying.
That is 100% annoying.
I will say that they're not as strong as the Marine combat variants that are coming out. I think that Space Wolf's got an enormous boost with the Psychic Awakening, and they got insane characters. Like some of these characters can walk up to a knight and just say good night. That's insane to me.
I mean, I actually am a huge fan of that because in the books, you know, they talk about, you know, what is it, Angron being stomped by a Warhound Titan. I mean, how come my characters won't do that now, right?
Right.
I mean, if only. But Angron was a Primarch, you know. But
yep.
Anyway, you guys in chat,
Okay, charge away.
When I'm reading books for 40K, I got to take everything with a grain of salt sometimes, because sometimes the writer's a little bit crazy in the head.
Agreed.
You know, because like, I think I read a Mantis book. There's maybe a short story where, you know, a librarian takes down a hive tyrant with his stick and his psychic powers.
That's pretty funny. Actually, I read an orc book where a librarian also takes down a Stompa, but that's not really that hard to do because Stompas are terrible.
Yeah. I think my favorite orc joke is the, if you guys don't know what orcs, how they work, it's they believe that their gun shoots, so it shoots.
Yep.
So like in one of the books, a space marine picks up an orc gun and tries to shoot it, and there's no ammo in it because they believe that there's ammo in there. There is, but since the space marine doesn't believe the orc gun works or whatever, I don't know how. It's really weird. Orcs are really weird. You know, I'm kind of partial to the Age of Sigmar orcs, where they're brutal. You know, they're not technologically advanced. They use their brute strength for their strength, and they're not sitting there talking like inbreds. Like the 40K orcs.
And they have a British accent. They're proper orcs.
Sure, whatever you want. It's better than the derpy orcs. Now, I'm not saying that if you like the derpy orcs, I'm not saying that you're wrong for liking that. I'm just saying personally, I like the savage orc more than I like the 40K orc.
Right.
And it looks like Sean did pick up that Scorpius here with his Storm Fang, so that's a kill for him. That'll be a good. That's 2 points for him. It's a good start. It looks like he's made a charge on the scouts and is rolling to.
Well, no, he hadn't yet. He's just surround. Oh, yeah, he is. He is. You're right. He was trying to get like as far as he can from the scouts. Looks like he has 1, 2, 3 units in combat right now. I'll use the proper Madden tool. But we have this one right here. We have that one right there and that one right there. So let me ask you this though. Do you think that is too much? Too much wolfen goodness for those 5 scouts?
Oh, it absolutely is overkill. Like I said earlier, I would like to see him string it out and try and wrap, but it looks like they're all gonna die.
Oh, there's one left.
Consolidate.
I think, yeah, but I think we have more Wolfen squads swinging.
Trail line like that.
He might. I think he just rolled them all together because they're now consolidating.
Okie doke. So,
you know, one tactic he could have done here is.
Oh yeah, I do that, don't I?
You know, I'm not quite sure what's going on here because I look like I've got multiple units piling in here. So there might have been some out of sequence stuff that I didn't catch. I'm not listening to the players, so I couldn't tell you. It'd be very confusing for me. So I'm just trying to paint a picture of you guys of what I see on the battlefield. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but we'll find out here in just a moment.
You got a 2, 3, and a 4.
Do we know what power Nijal cast this turn? I know he gets 2 or 3 casts.
I did not catch that part of the game.
Hold them.
So
just don't click on them. Just
one thing I did in my game is I stole this from Steven actually. So he had little tokens, like little chess pieces off to the side with all the psychic powers written on it. And I'm super glad I saw that since I was playing Grey Knights.
Yeah.
And I also needed a bunch of tokens.
All right.
But I think that there should be some sort of token out here so we can see what's going on there
against
too.
which squad?
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe for the next game, we can definitely recommend that for.
I'll take it on the claws
for our next game. So I think to talk about that.
And he saves.
Okie dokie.
Well, it looks like it's all going to get wrapped up right now.
Pass. So, Sean, do you kill a thing? Yes. Do you hold a thing? Yes.
Sounds like Sean is scoring right now, so we'll take a look at what he scored.
No kill more, no hold more. What's remind me what bonus is on this one? Hold 5?
Hold 4.
Hold 4. Okay.
Looks like Sean has 2
Right,
points
Steve.
right now.
This is for leadership.
He should have 3.
He does not fail.
He should have +1 for old
I
school
know you wanted it.
because he did kill a unit on the first turn.
I was still
That is
hopeful.
true.
Yeah.
You can only
All right.
reroll faileds, right?
You can, yeah, you could CP it, I guess.
I'm not that desperate.
Okay, sounds good. I would.
All right. Looks like Kyle's moving up. So Sean successfully was able to keep the Wolfen locked in combat. That's a pretty awesome trait right there.
Yeah, and like I said, that's going to be huge for him.
I mean, if we look at it, pretty much the only thing that the Leviathan right here can shoot at and the tank commander is not the Wolfen, but the Stormfang. So I can actually definitely say this Stormfang right here in the middle of your screen is probably toast.
Okay, for a second, I'm gonna go grab a beverage.
No?
Which Stormfang are you referring to?
This one that I'm circling right here in the middle that is kind of hovering.
The tab button, it'll tell you how far you.
Oh, the one that's on. If you were to look from
pick him
Sean's
up
point of view on the left, by
Correct.
objective 6.
Correct. Yep. So basically, because there's what a Scorpius, there's a Tank Fender, and a Leviathan.
Leviathan's 24-inch range is going to be a problem here, I believe.
Oh, that's true.
I don't think he's going to have the range there. And if he does, he's going to put it right in the range for the Wolfen to come out and snatch him. So
Right? Maybe it's a trap. Maybe he's using it as a trap as bait.
maybe.
That would be a really good trap.
It's in the wrong order. So I click on
So we
it,
had
and I
a
hit the- and I
recent
hit tab,
follower.
and then-
Let me get that screen pulled up. Want to say Shite27, thanks for following. Appreciate it, bro.
There you go. And F1. will
Looks
get rid
like
of that
Bam
back
is
button.
also in the chat. So hey Bam, what's up? Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Quarantine
Russell
Hammer. If you don't know what that is, check out our website lordmarshall.org and go click on Quarantine Hammer. It'll pull up the list, pull up who's playing. Here's our current bracket. Last night you won against my good friend Stephen Hetmeyer here in Oklahoma. You won with it's a really close game. So we really enjoyed watching Steven's 3 Wraith Knights, and I think you kind of, in your words, underestimated Steven. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, that's fair to say. You know, I've never played him, and yeah, I would say that is a fair statement.
That's cool.
As much as I'd like to say that that's not a fair statement, it is. It is 100%.
So,
and you know what? The reason wasn't because I didn't know him. It was literally because he brought 3 Wraith Knights. Just so you know.
so right now we're watching Kyle and Sean's game, and tomorrow we are going to have Cullen and Duncan. Duncan is a flying monkey, and I believe Cullen is a someone out of, I want to say, Iowa, one of the Iowa teams. Do you think that's right, Ben?
For Duncan,
Yeah, Cullen Burns.
I think I don't.
Okay, I think we don't know.
I don't know. I have to go look at their list real quick. So let me do that, and I can give you a more accurate picture. Because I think a lot of this is going to have to boil down to a lot of lists. Playing on the TTS is going to be pretty much the same all around. It's going to be just like playing normal Warhammer. So Colin, we're going to look at his list first. Space Marines, Aggressors, Devastators with Grav Amps in a pod, Call, Doomcrawler, Scorpius, and then 3 Invictus with Khan on a bike. Okay. So Duncan's list, which I think is Blood Angels. This could be an interesting matchup I think whoever chooses to be the attacker is going to have a huge advantage here. Duncan is playing Blood Angels, Scout, 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 Astaroth, Captain Mephiston, big Death Company bomb with 4 hammers, big Sanguinary Guard bomb with 4 axes, 4 power fists, and then some AdMech to go alongside that with some Iron Striders, a drill with priests, which is a nice little combo there from Mortal Wounds, and some Skitarii Rangers. And what are you? I don't see what Sept he is or whatever AdMech. So we'll have to see. They look both hyper aggressive lists, so I think that game's going to be over quickly.
Right.
And I think whoever goes first is going to have a huge advantage. So it looks like we got some chat happening.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Sean
Bam.
talking about 3 Red Knights.
Got some audio issues going on in game. Give me a second. I'm gonna talk to Wes real quick.
All right, so the other Sean has asked me to look at his list and check it out. So we've got Sisters of Battle with a Valorous Heart. Not shocked. With a couple of Germain that go with Celestine, some Canuses. Sister Battle Squads with Heavy Bolter, Storm Bolter, Heavy Bolter, Storm Bolter. Chain Swords, Battle Sister, Magifier, not shocked yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Immolators. And then the I don't know this character, which I'll look up, and 3 Exorcists. So it looks like a lot of armor. Whoever you're playing, I hope they have armor shooting. That's a lot. It's a lot of Immolators. I mean, as far as lists go, I mean, it's supposed to be a friendly army. I brought double Paladin Bomb, so maybe we'll see each other. That's a lot of Immolators.
Yeah, I was taking a look at Cone's list, and it was like a bunch. So, hey guys, sorry about this. We're having some technical difficulties with the audio in the stream real quick. I think Wes is trying to get it all back up again. There we go. So just give us 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. This is what happens when you use technology, I think. All right, I think we can hear each other again.
While we're waiting, let's go ahead and take a look at Nate Martin's list for tomorrow.
Hey, Materials, thanks for following our channel, bro. Appreciate it.
Looks like we got a couple lieutenants, 4 infiltrator squads. Somebody should tell Nate that 1's enough. A couple Invictus Warsuits, those are nice. Couple Thunderfires, that's nice. Blood Angels. Whoa. Thunderhammer, Storm Shield Captains, Scout Squads. Gigantic Death Company bomb at 316 points. 4 hammers. The rest are all bolts, pistol, chain, sword. All right.
In there, Wes.
Say again?
Already in there.
Nate?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win that matchup versus Nate?
I have to look at Scott Thompson's list now. He's making me look at all these lists.
Well, might as well. It's good entertainment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Italian Space Marines, Chapter Master, Chapter Master. Interesting. 2 Chapter Masters. It's Imperial Fists. Tech Marine. 3 Intercessor Squads. 1, 2, 3 Tactical War Suits. 3 Relic Scorpiuses. A Devastator Squad with Grav Cannon, Grav Amp. 2 Thunderfire Cannons, and a Drop Pod. Sorry. But this list makes me want to puke.
Right where we left
and not for the reason you'd think. I don't think that this list is bad. I think this is a very good list.
Go crazy,
but I think that this list is go big or go home. So he's either going to do a ton of damage to you very fast, or he's going to, you know, fall back into the woods.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, guys, I think we're back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hopefully no more technical difficulties anymore. I think Steam crashed for the entire world,
Yes, I can hear
though,
you.
so... Yeah, Sante 13 Ben was going through all of the lists.
Yeah, it's going through the list because I'm trying to get some content here.
That is currently behind the wall. See the flyers.
You're right. Let's do some more. I'm going to pick one at random. Dan Salmons. Maybe not so random.
That's really not random. Ben and
So he's
Dan
doing-
have kind of... You guys are like the rivalry of the Lord Marshal Conference. Is that accurate?
The two
Sure.
the two that are closer to my side, you sure can. The center one, you can't.
I would say so.
Yeah, it's a friendly rivalry. All right, we're in the movement phase. Turn 1 for Kyle right now.
So I'll move under half. Wesley, would you do me a solid and just move my scouts over to position, put the building, but near position 2? One squad is going to stay there. The other one's going to move to 2. Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Brian, you're
come
right.
outside if you actually
Ben
want to
is
have to.
definitely upping the shoutcasting game, and I appreciate that. I am just semi-okay.
Hey, 2 more inches of movement.
They can just stop there.
Damn fool, you have absolutely missed nothing.
I'll start with 4 las cannons into the bird on my right. The one on position 6. I'm minus 1, -2 to hit, so I'm hitting on 5s, rerolling everything except 4s.
Good. Let's just define your direction as north. So red side is north, and
I get to reroll 1 for
You live?
Master Artisans
Or we
and then
listening
1
to the
for
players?
Call.
Yes, we were listening to the players.
So 4 hits.
I need the password.
Rolled a wound. It's on 3s.
LMC.
I got it. Wes shot it to me.
I will reroll 1 for Master Artisan.
Wounds.
So 4 wounds. Sorry, I didn't mean to pick all those up.
It's all right. Oh,
Okay, Ben.
You had.
Yes.
Oh, you don't have.
All
that.
right, I am
Save.
going to add you to the Steam chat where you can hear the players. As soon as you get in, click the microphone button at the bottom right corner. That way you can
10.
mute yourself so they won't be able to hear you.
Sounds good.
The tank on the bottom is going to put all its shots into the southernmost bird.
4. Go for it.
The one closest to 6. I'm out of range on everything except the back. Rerolling 1 for Katachan. Nine shots. Five hits, and then I'm rerolling 3 ones. So all hit. -1. Four wounds. -2.
Cocked. Save none of them.
I'll do 10. So does that explode?
It was at the southernmost one, so that was this one. That was this one.
Oh, sure. Okay, I misunderstood. I meant the one by 6, but it's fine either way.
I could. Damn it. Okay. No, that's fine. We'll just blow that one up. Blow it up. No blows.
There were people inside that, yeah?
There are not. There's nobody in them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm going to go to the Hammer of Sunderance on top. I'm going to put all shots into the Stormfang that is furthest away from 6.
This guy?
I'm also going to overcharge Plasma.
10-4.
Yes. Here's Battle Cannon. We rolled a 1. Take 9.
Hey, Shite 27. The fun lists are was just yours. The 3 Wraith Knights. That's about it. And there's an Orc list. That's fun.
To that, I'm taking 3 Stormfangs in this game. Those things are terribad.
They are terribad.
So we got Kyle going to work here on these Stormfangs in my life.
Yes.
5 hits.
Looks like he's already brought one down. Working on a second with the tank commanders.
3 wounds and -2 to 3 per hit.
If Kyle loses the Stormfangs, do you think that'll put him at a, or excuse me, if Sean loses Stormfangs, will it put him at a disadvantage?
Nope. I think it does. Yeah.
Just take one of them?
It depends. If this allows the Wolfen to get into Kyle's lines,
So it
and
just took 3.
It's game over at that point, right?
I think so.
Killzor 9000, 8 immolators is nothing but fun. I beg to differ. What are they going to do? Literally, there's nothing in that list but sisters that you could like transport up the board. I can't. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you have
2
one
hits.
heavy flamer. Okay, go.
No wounds with the heavy bolter. Here's plasma. I'll reroll the 2. Take 4.
One, take 6.
So it looks like he's going to work on this right Stormfang gunship. Zoom in and see what I can, how many wounds at it. I think it's got 6 on it right now. Looks like it's gonna take. Unsure what's shooting currently.
Hits,
This is
take
the
1 wound.
okay. So he's shooting the plasma right now. Looks like he's gonna do 2 wounds with that. He's got a nice 6 up against that.
Dave.
-3.
Yeah, I got a 6 up.
Oh, nice. Okay. So there were 2 of those.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
2 of them.
Take the second. 2 damage.
2 damage.
Other way.
What is that down to?
I got 3 left.
I'll put the last tank into the same target. We will put all small arms fire into the other gunship.
So it looks like Kyle's gone to work on this other Stormfang with another tank commander. It's down to 3 wounds. I think the big turning point of this turn is going to be whether or not he's going to put down enough wounds on this 3rd gunship to possibly stop it from doing much damage by tearing it. We'll see. Or if he can down this last one. We'll see. It doesn't look like the 2 Scorpiuses are in a position where they can actually interact with those Stormfangs. Again, I can't measure, and this is a little bit wonky, but just my base eyeball looks like not 36 to that Stormfang, and that's the Stormfang that they would have range to is the fresh one. So we'll see if it lives here. But it looks like this is the tank commander rerolling ones. This got to be the battle cannon with 7 shots. That's an odd number. So
a lot of shots. Did it pretty well.
I mean, with 2d6 shots, 7 is going to be your average. We all know if we play Warhammer, that's never the case. It's usually really swingy.
Accurate.
So I like 7, C7, because it just means I'm doing average. I like average. What I hate rolling is like when I roll a 12 and completely obliterate something, and then the rest of my shots fizzle. Dang it.
3, take 1.
Well, at least it's the battle cannon that did the work, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
So it looks like he's going to
Yep. Got it anyway.
probably pick up this storm.
3 damage.
Close up. I will see that.
Rolling 1 dice at a time. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, Cullen, apparently you have a Boston accent. I don't know. I haven't really talked to you in person yet, so how do I know you are Cullen? Come on.
You had 6 CP. I poked it for you.
All right, so it looks like he did pick up that other storm fang.
Well, that's good. So that's, you know, I don't know why he did not move
Single dice was a roll for explosion, guys.
this dreadnought at all, the Leviathan. I felt like, you know, if he was out of range, he could totally move this Leviathan maybe totally behind the wall this turn to sacrifice the shooting, and then shot him next turn at the Leviathan. Maybe purposely sacrifice this particular Scorpius up here as a buffer, knowing that it'll be eaten.
2 hits.
That I feel like that might have been a good play.
We'll see. I mean, I think the Scorpius didn't move, but
2 wounds at -3.
I don't know why he didn't move the Leviathan. I might have moved that back.
On the bird, 1.
You know what I didn't see is that there are
From plasma.
some scouts hidden behind this ruin. Why that's important is that these Wolfen can get next to that wall and declare the scouts not get overwatched, and declare the Leviathan. Not necessarily avoiding Overwatch, but if he doesn't make it to the Leviathan, he can at least wrap the scouts. So if he
Correct.
continues this chain of wrapping, he could be in a good position. Because that scout is probably dead. You know, I don't want to say 100% because I thought a Wraith Knight was 100% dead last night and it lived. But I think if that happens and the scout dies, he's going to get 3 inches closer with 1 squad. So to clarify, if he kills it with 1 squad, the other 2 squads don't get to activate. So it's only 1 that's going to slingshot 3 inches forward.
Everything in that.
So I think Sean's got to be careful which one he picks. If it were me, I'd pick B,
We're all locked up.
because then I can move in advance all of them, and then they all get to move up as a blob. And instead of dealing with 1 at a time coming in and getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, you've got the full wave of these 15 Wolfen coming in. I don't know what's happening there with that Scorpius, but it's flinging all over the map.
I think Kyle's trying to figure out what to do with it.
Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Oh, he's trying to shoot, so.
Oh, he's trying to measure range. I got you.
Okay. Well, at least we know now, right?
Right. I would say the only clunky thing about this measuring range is that if he clips that hill, it's going to add it to his range to those blood claws. So you have to actually pick up and move the piece of terrain if you want the super accurate measurement, which, all things considered with what's going on right now, I'll take it. 100% I'll take it. I'll take that over not playing.
40K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited to see, you know, who's going to win. We had a question real quick. Darkwing02, how do we get involved in the tourney if we want to play? Well, unfortunately, this is a bracket tourney that we set up this past week. Here is the bracket right now. So yesterday, Ben, you won your game. However, if this is super popular and we have a lot of viewers watching, especially for the Elite 8, Final 4, and Championship rounds, we'll probably do this again because I know for a fact it sounds like we are going to be in quarantine till April 30th at least. So it takes about 2 weeks to do a 16-man bracket, 1 game a day. and I think it's a lot of fun. I think everybody is enjoying it, getting some 40K action involved, and can't wait for anything more.
Yeah, I totally agree that getting some Warhammer in is much better than none. I will say you have your brackets named a little bit misleading for an exhibition match, the Final Four and Championship.
Why is it misleading?
A championship and an exhibition match. One insinuates a competition, while the other one insinuates a casual atmosphere. So you're saying that this is a casual tournament?
I said it was a casual tournament, and I didn't review any lists, and I'm not afraid that I didn't do it, but I think it would have been a lot of fun. So,
well, I mean, I brought double Paladin bomb because you.
Yeah, I mean, you're guilty of this, so
I am 100%. But for those of you listening and thinking I'm a jerk for doing so, I mean, I play the list that I like to play, and I'm not really a big fan of toning down a list. Not because I'm a big jerk, but because I'm not going to play with those tools ever. And I am a hyper competitive player in the ITC circuit, and I prefer that my practice, whether it's in an exhibition match on TTS or if it's at home, is with the list that I'm going to play for the season. Because I can tell you from personal experience, I've done the list hopping from season to season or from meta to meta, just playing the strongest list, and it's just, there aren't very many people that make that work. You have to play the best list that the army you're best with. And sometimes that means that you're running Necrons and switching to Custodes. Dino.
Yeah. Yep.
But the more practice you get with your lists, the better. Because then a lot of games end up being, did you do the right play in the current situation you're in? Not necessarily did you bring the strongest meta list. So I'm playing against, let's say, I'm playing my flyer list, and I'm playing against somebody like Kyle's list here. Okay, he deployed on the back line. I can do two things. I can play hyper aggressive and go up and trash as many vehicles as I can, and the planes I lose are the planes I lose. Or my personal experience has taught me that I go and I trash one vehicle, I overcommit, and then he doesn't have much return fire. But I know that because I've played that matchup and I know exactly what to do. And it's not necessarily that my flyer list is stronger, it's just that I'm better with my flyer list than the current net list. So my advice to you guys out there is, when you're looking at this and asking which list is more competitive and which list is stronger and stuff, play what you are stronger with, not what is stronger in the meta. And if your army is just not really playable at the moment, I mean, that's just going to be a big bummer. But it is going to be better for you in the end to just practice the list that you are best with at the current time. And it looks like we had somebody drop and rejoin.
Yeah. So we actually had Kyle drop. His internet is not very good. So Wes and I made the executive decision that if Kyle drops again, Wes is just going to play the game out for him until Kyle can get back on. So, it's kind of annoying, but we definitely don't want to be here for 5 hours for one game.
Correct.
Or at least 3.5 like last night.
Oh, that was still long to me too.
Apparently, Nick Rose is calling you out, Ben.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Darkwing 02.
I left chat, so I don't know what he said.
Okay. He said Ben would like to get some games on TTS. Nick Rose. Think he added a heart in there.
If you just tell me what's
I'm gonna pass the turn.
Let me respond. Hold on. I'm actually
during the combat.
What's going on with my stream on my phone?
We gotta resolve this. I will
Flip
swing
back
in with the this squad first, Wolf and C. I'll have
Looks like Sean was able to kill the, or still working on killing that scout in the middle.
All right, looks like he's doing the pile in.
Yep.
I'll have 6 hammer swings.
Cool, he dies.
Yeah. Then we'll take this whole squad and do a 3-inch consolidate. Go in that way.
So it
Sounds
looks like he killed the scout and now is piling forward.
Yep. We totally guessed it.
Okay, sounds good. Kill is tied. Hold, I'm on 3. He's on 2. No, he got 3.
He's on
Locked
3.
This guy out. Yeah, I locked this guy out. We got champion, tech priest, and seer.
We're tied on hold more, kill more, correct?
Yeah.
Let's see if he does what I was hoping he doesn't do.
Well, I mean,
Kinda
this game
sticks
could
out.
be over pretty quick, to be honest.
Got 2 for Big Game Hunter.
I think he's got to respect those tank commanders. Those tank commanders
Okay.
are deadly. One of them will pick up a whole squad of wolf, and I guarantee it. Well,
Well,
maybe not the
maybe
heavy
so,
bolter
so
guy, but those
first
2
we'll
plasma guys back there
advance
for sure
wolf and
will,
see.
and they're pretty far away from the wolfen.
So would you rather have a Punisher?
No, I hate the Punisher. I think the battle cannon is the way to go.
That's
And
interesting.
my reasoning behind that is the Punisher's 20 shots, so he gets 40, but it has no AP. And with the meta the way it is right now, you need the AP. So we see he rolled the advance for that Wolfen squad. They are now right there.
Yep, he rolled a 3.
We will also.
So
advance
I'm going to inject my
Wolfen,
personal opinion here in
A.
a little bit.
Oh,
So
shocking.
I would have-
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, shocking, right? I would have rolled
Wait,
those 2
hold
squads on the bottom
we get
first.
before we get your opinion, real quick, are you Stephen A? Do you feel like your persona is like Stephen A on ESPN?
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
Of course. And it stays the same.
Oh man, can it be like
I would have
Stephen A?
rolled
think we
these
should
2
do that.
Wolfen squad in the back first to see where they get to go before I rolled that squad up top.
That's ugly.
Because he's not going to win this game
I'm
by
direction.
1 Wolfen squad in at a time.
9 gets me.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, and I
So I
think
see what he's doing here. He's going to
Right.
go for the scouts with 1 Wolfen squad. He's going to go for the Leviathan and the chapter master with this this frontline assault group, I'll say. But now this back squad has nothing to do. It's got to roll pretty far to get to those scouts. So I'm curious what his train of thought is going to be after this. Maybe he's got the idea that he's not going for the Leviathan and he's literally just going to go wrap scouts
We'll get there.
and get even closer
We'll advance these boys.
while moving those other Wolfen out of line of sight. But I feel like he's separating his army, and that could end up
I think we're going
not
that
paying off
side
for him.
then.
yeah, I agree. All right, you guys in chat, are you enjoying this? Let us know what you want to see. Do you want to see more? You're about to see more Wolfen action. You know, what are the odds, Ben, on these Wolfen taking down this Leviathan? Stays pretty high.
Like that.
That
To
depends.
trail around.
How many live the Overwatch? He's got a chapter master right next to it.
It's true.
And, you know, everybody who's played Warhammer and at some point in time had the 3-up save guy, the 3-up invuln guy, knows. Sometimes you make them all and you just kill everything, or you fail them all and lose the game hard. So, statistically, I want to say with 20 shots re-rolling, he's going to probably kill 2. That's what my gut's telling me. And I think that 3 of them will not knock down that Dreadnought. Does anybody know, did he give that chapter master the Teeth of Terra? Because that's going to matter.
I'll drop it into.
It doesn't look like he did. So that's a plus. Because the Teeth of Terra being 2 damage would really not be good for those
I'm
Wolfen.
actually gonna move it back for a second. and see how far I can get.
So if you guys are just tuning in, this is Quarantine Hammer Game 2 for our bracket. Quarantine Hammer is a tournament within all the for the Lord Marshall Conference. We are featuring lots of players. Here is the bracket, and if you want to take a look at the bracket or any of the lists, go to lordmarshall.org and click on Quarantine Hammer, that big button, and you'll be able to view player lists, their stats. What I really like is that we've got all these guys together. We're joined right now with Ben Sherwin. He won his last game, if you can see, against Steven Hetmeyer. And Ben, I do want to point out that yes, last time you had a issue with a Wraith Knight. Would that be accurate?
That is accurate. So that's okay. Whatever.
Nigel,
I put like 20 mortal wounds on it. It had 9 wounds left through a fortune, and it lived. So I wasn't sure what to do after that.
And that knight proceeded to kill 20 strike squads. Dude,
he killed 20 strikes. Yep.
Yep. I think that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, when I saw that, and I did, and like, what?
So let me ask you this: will you respect the Wraith Knights from now on?
No.
Bullet phase.
A string of lucky dice isn't going to make me respect the model. You know, the Wraith Knight has a good base stat line, but it doesn't have the relics and the warlord traits that the other knights have to really help them out. The only thing they have going for them is being Iandin, having that Psychotrome to double their attacks. But even that is such a short range relic on a very fragile model. Like, you could probably put it on a Farseer and you'll have 5 or 6 wounds on a bike. You still only have 4 up involved, and it's usually up there against insurmountable odds because you're putting one model was worth of points, like 300 or 400, whatever Wraith Knight says, against usually a lot of other extra points that might necessarily not be able to hurt the Wraith Knight, so they're going to go at the Farseer. I'm not saying you can't protect your Farseer. I'm just saying that the relic being short range is kind of a little risque.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. Now, Bam is saying that the spears did all the work. I don't know about that. I kind of think that the spears kind of were a diversion for the Wraith Knights, I think, personally.
Okay.
I mean, the spears put down 8 out of the 12 paladins he killed.
Las cannons.
So
and,
I think Bam's kind of right there, actually.
Man, don't disagree with me. How dare you disagree with me on this? I'm just kidding.
We'll put heavy bolters into scouts.
With Shining Spears, the part of the reason they were able to do that, though, is because all of the psychic powers besides Fortune went to them. So they were concealed, they were protected, so they had the 2-up save, 3-up involved in shooting.
Yep.
So they were very resilient and able to do that.
But
once they were gone, most of the psychic powers that he had were kind of like thrown out there like, hey, this might work. They didn't have a real target at that point.
Okay.
And that's because the Runes of Battle powers can't be cast on the Wraith Knights, which is a bummer. Because I would like a 2+ save Wraith Knight. You know,
cool.
I think when they wrote that, they were thinking that that's too intense, but when the Night Book came out, they did it anyway, so I just don't know where their thought process is there. But back to the game at hand here, it looks like we're rolling some shooting from the Frostfang, probably at a tank commander. Can't tell which one. I don't think it matters. I think if I were him, I'd be shooting this far right one here at the corner that has the relic. Can't really tell, though. Sean's doing a good job of holding his own backfield, though. I think when the Scions come down, we're going to actually see a little bit of action from them. They got a recent boost in the Psychic Awakening, too, with the different Scion. It's no longer just Stormtrooper. They've got a big list to pick from, and there's a bunch of them that are pretty cool. One of them that I like is the extra range to the hotshot las guns, so that when you deep strike, you actually do get rapid fire range. That one's pretty nice. They have a stratagem for +1 strength. That's for one of the offshoot guys. But the best one, in my opinion, is there's a one where if you roll a 6 to hit, it is just an additional hit. I believe, but it's specific. I have to look it up. I don't have the book in front of me, so don't count my verbiage as the rule at hand, because I don't have that book in front of me, and I don't know the exact wording. I know it's there, and it's been played against me, and I like it a lot, especially with a 10-man squad with 2 plasmas I'm sorry, I think it's 4 plasmas and a plasma pistol and a sergeant. It's a lot of strength 8, -3 damage 2 coming in from a not that expensive unit. I think they're 112, but it's a very good unit. But I think these are all hotshot las guns here. I don't see any upgrades on these.
No, that is Scions. I think that's alright. Do you like those hotshot las guns, or would you rather go with plasma?
No bullets.
I think a plasma is making a comeback with these Scions that can get the double order from that Tempestor. There's a relic for the Tempestor Prime that on a 4-up after he gives an order, he can immediately give that squad another order.
Easy one first,
so that allows things like I can pull out of combat and still shoot, and then if I roll that 4-up, I can reroll my ones to hit too. So you're no longer wasting in order to make them shoot. You can also keep them buffed, which is pretty strong. Likewise for first rank, second rank, and reroll ones and shooting. So I'm unclear because Kyle's list didn't have it listed of which Scion detachment he is, if he is a Scion detachment. I'm sure they discussed it pre-game, but I was not. But
hey, it looks like the Wolfen made some charges.
I'm assuming he's going for those scouts and trying to wrap.
Yeah, he's going to the scouts at the bottom of the ruin.
Do a trail.
So he's got some Wolfen charges. So he rolled the middle squad first.
I assume you put a.
I don't think I saw any Overwatch happen, so I think he just declared the scouts inside the ruin. I don't think they were in range to declare much of anything else.
Now, do you think he'll be able to wrap those scouts?
With the way he just placed himself, probably not. I think the scouts will die. But then again, I thought that those scouts over here were gonna die, and they did not.
Right.
We'll see what these Wolfen do. I just saw an 8 rolled, so that must be okay. He's rolling this squad in the middle here, coming up by objective 3.
Probably have to corner.
This is where Tabletop Simulator can be a little bit difficult to measure ranges, as it might add the rune wall height to your charge. Sometimes you can get it to work. Obviously, I am not skilled enough with Tabletop Simulator to tell you guys how exactly to get that to work cleanly, but it looks like he failed that charge. Or is he moving guys? Oh, looks like he made the charge. Okay, looks like he made the charge.
All right. Leviathan always has a.
So, one thing I'm going to bring up is I like the fact that Kyle put these back from the wall. These scouts, meaning Sean could not charge them and then stay on the other side of the wall.
Did you want as many
so he has to come inside the ruin where he can pull line of sight with all his army back here. It's unclear what these Wolfen C are going to do.
Get them all in there.
If you want to pull towards them, Jason, they're right in front of the Leviathan.
So
I think he is going to try to attempt to charge at the Leviathan. If it were me, I would declare a charge solely on the captain, and then pile into the Leviathan to stop it from shooting, and then possibly fight again to pile into this Mortis Dreadnought to stop it from shooting as well.
Go for the
if he does that, I think Sean is in a wonderful position, because he can kill that fight captain no problem, and then pile into these 2 Dreadnoughts and stop them from shooting, and really honestly just tie them in close combat where he wants to be. The only problem is that he's going to have to try and pull off a wrap on this lieutenant here, or on the Leviathan itself. Either way, a wrap has to happen. And if he has to swing twice to do
No,
that, he's
actual
got to
iron
do that.
ones are.
But let's take a
Go
look at his CP. It looks like he's still got
No,
6.
I don't hit on 5s.
No, Sean is down to 3, so that would eat up all his CP if he were to do that.
10.
So we'll see what happens here.
Looks like he made the charge. Oh,
So the interaction with the 3D terrain is a little bit similar to 40K in this aspect, where the models go everywhere. So if he lines this up right, this could be the game right here, in my opinion. If he can lock this down and not get shot by any of his Wolfen squads, he could be in a very good position.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I got.
so I would say it's so far a pretty successful turn for Sean.
Okay.
I agree. And it looks like he did exactly what I thought he would. That I thought he should, with just charging the captain and trying to wrap the Leviathan after killing the captain. The problem is that this can be kind of tricky with movement, and now we're dealing with Tabletop Simulator.
About there.
So you gotta measure the closest distance from the captain and all the models, and it can be kind of interesting. It looks like piling in. Let's see if he does that. Let's see what Kyle's got left to shoot. He's got 2 disintegrators.
I'm gonna swing everything into the bike captain.
2 tank commanders, 1 with the heavy bolters.
Sure. Go to town. How many?
He's still got a
how many
frost fang
attacks
up.
is
Looks like it's got
gonna
12
be
wounds
12
remaining, so it took a
hammers
little bit of damage. And it looks like
6 claws.
did Najal perils? Is that why he's
Go
hurt?
down.
It looks like he must have. All right, he's rolling some
4
damage
hit.
here. Looks like he's swinging on the captain. For those of you tuning in that don't know what Wolfen do, they're nasty in close combat. They have Thunderhammer Storm Shields,
Only 2
and they have a
wound.
really cool ability. When they get killed, they
Again.
swing when
With
they're
3
dying. It doesn't matter if they swung before. It only happens in the fight phase though, but it's a pretty cool ability to put forward in
So
a
you've
melee army.
got, 7 total.
And it is
saves.
fun to see the wolves
You know he's T5,
interact
right?
here. If you're noticing he had some
6 total
3s hit,
saves.
it's because Space Wolves get a +1 to hit when they get
These are
charged,
those profiles.
are charged, or heroically intervene. So those Thunderhammers hit on their natural 3s.
Yeah, it's all hammers
That's
right
pretty
now.
strong.
I have a storm shield.
Fail 1.
Okay, and then you got 1 more save. Another roll of 5.
King Duncan said, "Bring
Okay,
back
3
old
damage.
Inari."
I'll reroll the one.
Duncan?
Okay.
No,
Use a C.
get out of here.
Yeah, you know he was broken as get out. So
Okay. We'll do claws.
apparently, Demfool JT says he's gonna make it to the finals. I hear that dude is pretty awesome. I mean,
These are on 4s. Reroll.
if we look at Demfool's list or JT's list, he brought what was it?
Should be Black Templar, and if
Black
you didn't bring
Templar,
Black
that's
Templar, we're
correct.
gonna have words. JT, what's up, brother?
Go to 4.
The interesting story between me and JT. One time at Iron Halo, actually, he was missing some scout models. Well, I never leave my house without my Black Templar, just so you guys know. So
It's
all the
just
way
these.
down in Oklahoma from Minnesota, I had my Black Templar in my
chapters at the
car. I was
end.
able to lend him out some models for Iron Halo.
You're gonna do the fight against the
Oh
scouts.
yeah. Sorry.
What a nice guy, Ben.
We'll do the
Yeah.
bottom guys first.
What can I say?
We'll do a 3-inch shuffle.
This looks like we got some pile-ins
Oh,
here. It looks like
also
he
over
swung
here,
on
I
that
do a
chapter
consolidate.
master and did not kill him.
So starting here.
Uh,
I'll make it to the dreadnought.
So I think
Bitch.
there's a little bit of some confusion
sorry.
going on down there
Yeah,
with
it's-
how to pile in down there.
We lost him again. so
If you guys are noticing,
Sounds good.
he's piling in towards the Mortis Dreadnought.
Yeah, I'm
Towards the
scaling
captain.
still.
Uh,
Yeah, so we're just
Jason,
gonna
do
do
we
a shuffle
have
with these guys.
a judge down there? Maybe
Yes,
clean
we
that up a little bit.
do. Are they? He's piling into the incorrectly. He cannot go to the Mortis Dreadnought. Is that correct?
Correct is what
Okay.
I was going to mention.
Hey, Wes.
So
Yes.
Okay, so we believe that Sean is piling incorrectly, and he cannot pile into the Mortis Dread because it's not the closest model.
I'd be shuffling around the Primaris. Like I guess measure it.
Yeah, he was taking his move from right here, and he's shuffling around the Primaris Lieutenant.
Yeah, it's a fiddly game.
No, that's
If
fair.
I can
That's
get
fair.
inside the one, right? Because I would be, something like that, which gets me inside the one. Is the intent?
Yeah, I was tracking what he was doing the whole time.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just get up against the wall. It looks like is the best we're gonna do right now. Ugh. All right. Get those guys the biggest move they can. Wonderful. Pro tip: don't play an army that needs to teleport through walls in a game that it's hard to go through walls. I think I'm just gonna box with them. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4, 16, 17 swings.
Yep.
Right. That's hitting 5 of them. Hitting.
I'm not gonna do anything. Go to town.
Yeah. Hitting 5. Hitting 7 for 12. 13. 1, 2, 6. 5. 6. 6. 6 wounds, no AP.
sorry, I had to step
Those
away
two
for a sec.
guys.
What'd I miss?
Oh, nothing. He's shooting, or excuse me, attacking into this scout squad, and Wes is pulling models right now.
Okay, so what happened with that Wolfen Squad seat on there?
Yeah,
Was
just
it ended up
consolidate
being
them
legal, or
inside.
what's the deal?
Yes, it is legal. Wes was looking at it. Just like the tabletop,
We got one more
it is
through the
very
wall.
finicky.
You can do that, Wes.
Very,
and then,
very, very finicky process.
I'll swing the rest of them
Okay.
with real swings from the other squad. Just pick them up.
Yeah, we'll just grab him.
Okay. And then
Do the pilot real quick.
that was more to Kyle. Yeah, we'll just smash those guys to bits with hammers and claws.
So it looks like not all the scouts are dead, but do we know how many squads of Wolfen have swung? Just one?
2. So we have
You want me
this
to roll
squad
them?
here at the bottom. Hey, Hextred, thanks for following our channel, man. Appreciate it.
It's 12
And then
hammer
this
swings.
squad right
I think
here
I'll-
is
I think
also
I'll get 3 scouts.
attacked.
All right, and then we'll get them in there, and then just another 3-inch shuffle, so that we get pretty much everybody in there.
Yeah, you got a nice cluster of dudes right there.
Yeah,
That chapter
it's
master
gonna be a
lived.
shit show now. So
Yep.
With looks like 2 wounds left.
they all needed to get better advances so that they could be involved in this
Or
party.
it only took 2 wounds.
and they're not. So
Are they counting up or counting down on their wound?
They're
dice?
counting down, so I think he took 2 wounds.
We'll
Okay.
get another 9 swings of hammer on the bike cap, or no.
Hextred
Captain
says
swings
Dark Angels are better than Space Dogs.
Yeah,
Captain-
fights back.
Yeah,
Some people in the chat, that would be fighting words.
Does the captain have anything crazy?
He's got Teeth of Terror.
You know, Dark Angels had a very small window of being
So,
super awesome.
4
With
base plus 1 on
The
the
Psychic
swing.
Awakening book giving
Yeah,
them
4
those
base
extra
plus 1 on the
tools.
swing.
And
Plus
then
3, so he's got
them
8
staying in the
swings.
Devastator Doctrine was
Choose your
really good with Talon Masters.
Yep.
And now it's gone.
Hitting
So-
it.
6 explodes.
Sorry.
We didn't have any Dark Angel players. That was pretty unfortunate.
There's a reason for that, Hextred.
Wounding, lieutenant behind him. So 1, 2. So looking like 5.
Yep, didn't see that 3.
Okay. We'll take him on the 3-ups. Okay, that's cool. All right.
We've got this mortise
first
tag
guy.
down here.
Dead.
This board is all sorts messed up. Look
guy.
at this. This astropath is
Fine.
literally inside this Scorpius.
So that's 3 of them.
That's
He's on
pretty
1
funny.
wound.
Okay, so it
And
looks
then
like
the
all
last
those
one
scouts
will kill
did
him.
die,
So
so they
there's
are
2
hanging out there
hammers.
in the cover.
Okay, so assuming for Kyle's
We'll make
next
it-
turn, obviously you want to pull out the captain on a bike. You want to pull out the Primus lieutenant, and which target
This guy.
would you shoot at with everything? I mean, which unit? Would it be the Wolfen C? Would it be Wolfen A? You know, I think those are the
what
only
just
2
killed
valid
2
targets
Wolfen?
at that point.
LT then.
Yeah.
I'm curious what just killed 2 Wolfen.
And we're good.
Okay, so we got 2 Wolfen that died.
Okay. Oh man, that's a hell of
pretty
a
good
position
rolling.
to have to honor the chapter in. I guess we'll go
We
down
got
to plane
6
7th
attacks
edition
there.
and try it one more time.
5. That's a lieutenant, so that's 3,
All right,
4.
we got 8 hammers on your captain.
9 attacks. Just killed 2 Wolfen.
Hitting on
No
3s.
special weapons.
And then wounding on 3s. Come on. Looking at 4 of them. Okay. So he'll die. Okay. And then I have 6 swings with the claws on the lieutenant.
So those 2 Wolfen did swing.
He's hitting on 2s.
And it looks like they picked up the
Reroll.
chapter
We're gonna
master.
burn. We're gonna burn 2 to fight after death.
Or bike captain, sorry.
Wonderful.
His stats are all
I'll
kind of
resolve this
weird. I
real
don't think
quick.
those are right.
These are on
He's got
3s,
initiative
rolling
on there?
Failed.
I think they're stats from
5
probably
wounds and a
6th edition.
-2.
Gunham Goon, what's actually happening is when the Wolfen
So
die,
they'll
they
take
swing. It's
4.
one of their special
Lieutenant.
abilities in the data slate.
To be on 1. Yep. Okay. Teeth of Terror again.
Double checking with Kyle. Yes, he does. Eight, correct?
Yep.
Well, that could be true.
Rolling 1s.
But them using a shared pool of dice is kind of it's a little bit
Is it
difficult
shift
to
to
see
like multi-click like that?
what's going on
Control.
and who's doing what.
Oh.
Yeah, 2
Because we got
6s that
Wes with the
explode.
black dice, and we got the black hand, and we got Sean with the blue. Okay, so I think you're correct because he has spent the 3 CP
Alright,
to swing
first
again.
2 on hammers. Okay. Alright. Hammer lives on 1. Last one on a hammer
Sure, man.
lives.
We all have a certain drive to be right. Yours is just stronger than everybody else's.
And just consolidating. And be able to get all the way around, yeah.
So it looks like he is attempting to wrap
The
this
Contemptor would have had swings in there.
Primaris Lieutenant.
I don't think he can. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it from my angle either. And I can't measure, but he might have put that name Tech Marine in combat.
Yep. That'll be pretty close.
4. Yeah, 4 AP nothing's right there.
Did he pull out of combat with this Dreadnought down here?
Take him on.
Yes, he is. It doesn't look like he is in combat. But
oh, so the first one has to go on that guy. Then we'll put the other one on. Should have said it before I rolled it. High up, it goes on the hammer.
I'm so confused of what's happening right now. Here's why I'm confused, guys.
So and then feel no pain on the hammer.
This must be a translation between the tabletop simulator and what I can see. I'm only spectating the game. I can't measure anything. So this Wolfen that piled into this Primaris Lieutenant here and went away from the Dreadnought. It makes me look improbable that he would be able to do that, because I would think that the Mortis Dreadnought would be closer.
I think that's what I got.
Since he piled in and put him into combat. If that is not the case, because again, I'm not listening to the players.
Wolfen Fearless.
That's fine, but that's where my confusion is lying out, is what interactions are actually happening down here.
And they're fine.
I know that combat can be kind of difficult with pile-ins, with measuring closest distances and all that jazz. So as long as the players are okay with it, so it's whatever.
Kill count.
I'm just confused on my end. So
3. Kill count is 3. 1 hunter.
XX.
And 1.
I'm sorry, your name is kind of funny to me. XCCam32X. I agree. Being colorblind would make this almost impossible to tell what's going on currently, especially with the little hands being color coded and whatnot. It looks like another Wolfen died and a wound was put on that Wolfen.
so it looks like Kyle only has what, 2 tank commanders, 2 Scorpiuses, Leviathan Dread, and Mortis Dread.
All right.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
For a second, yeah.
Yeah, 10 at 007, definitely communicating intent.
Are you at a point where you can see it?
It's just like, the normal game of 40K. It's kind of hard to, not do it without declaring intent. However, you should, if you move past phases, I think intent is out the window. As we learned back in 2017 at LVO.
10 sitting in the center room.
Were you there, Ben, that weekend?
Yep.
No.
I sure was. Are you talking about getting Tony'd?
Yeah, Tony got Tony'd.
Yep. I was at sitting in by Ramen Ya and all that in the back of Bally's watching the stream. And we just all exploded and threw our food everywhere and just was erupting in laughter. And my wife actually came with me this year, and she's just like, "What the hell's wrong with you guys?"
So for those of us in the chat that don't remember that or don't relive through it, can you explain what was going on at the time?
So you have to go back to a previous matchup before the final game between Nick Nadavati and Tony Grappando, where Alex Fennell, who is one of the nicest guys I've ever played, was playing Tony Grappando. And at the beginning of the game, they said, "Hey, look, we're just going to play this fast, and we'll go by intent, and order operations aren't super important." To a later turn where Alex deep struck at something. I don't remember if it was a dreadnought or some unit. Came down out of deep strike, Tony helped him measure it. And then when he started to go move the rest of his army, he goes, "You can't move your army because you deep struck. That's the end of your movement phase." And taking it in full stride, not even skipping a beat, kept his kindness intact, was like, "Okay, Tony," and kept playing the rest of that game. Now, fast forward.
Go ahead and back.
Tony's playing Yanari, by the way. This is important.
Towards
There's a stratagem for Samhain bikes where they can advance and charge. It has to be used when they advance. So he's playing Nick Nadavati. He's actually got the upper hand on Nick. But he did not use the stratagem in the movement phase. So he went to go charge with them, and Nick reminded him they can't charge because you didn't use the stratagem when the movement phase. In which Tony got Tony, is where that came from. Nick would not let him charge after advancing because he didn't use it in the proper phase. And watching Grapondo try to squeal his way out of that, and was like, "Well, we knew what was going on there." And Nick's like, "No, man." And Nick called him out right then, like, "You fucked Alex," or, well, excuse me, screwed Alex. And now I'm screwing you because you are a poor sportsman. So, karma to the max.
Yep, absolutely. It was pretty awesome, man. It was awesome to be a part of, awesome to watch. I think the really terrible thing is, I think didn't Tony get like some award at LVO? Oh, he got second place, didn't he?
Yeah, but he got second place.
Yeah, I want to get behind him.
But
enemy lines with him.
That, to me, that was the beginning of a movement in 40K for cleaner play.
Also, the one Scorpius that is on the side of the board,
in my opinion.
Just move that forward 12,
and
please.
that's wonderful.
I agree, 100%.
And you guys, most of you know that I've dealt with that kind of crap myself. So.
Yep, you actually played one game that we streamed where you had an issue with a particular player. So.
Yep.
It was really interesting.
All right, well, let's get back to this game here and see what's going on.
Looking for a 7 for psychic.
We had the Scions deep strike here in the back corner.
Got it.
So it's a 2.
All 15 are going back there. Looks like they're gonna try and get all those blood claws dead.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
That's only 15 shots, unless he's that special one where he gets +3.
We're good. Then it's a 3+, and a 4+, 5+.
So if that does happen, I'll be surprised because that's 30 shots. I don't see a Tempestor Prime back there, so there's no buffs. So he's hitting on 3s.
Did I get 2 through there?
Even with double shots, he's going to get 20 hits, 6 wounds, and he's got a 2-up save right now.
Okay.
At a minus, I think hot shots are a lot. -2, or are they -3?
They are -2.
So he's going to be on a 4-up. I don't think they do it. I think there's one dude left.
Are they 2 or 3? I think they're 2. Because hotshot guns are just -2.
Is going to put all his battle.
I haven't played with them enough to know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna go look for sure.
I know that they're, but they're only strength 3, which is the problem. So
right, so
it really sucks.
If he can double tap, he's got 30 shots, which 20 will hit on odds. And we all know that we can't go by odds, but for the most part, that's what we have to go by. 20 will hit, and around 7 will wound. And with a 4-up, about 3 or 4 will die. If it's a 5-up, he technically would get them all.
Ouch.
Well, here's some rolls right here.
It's -2.
Yeah, it's -2 AP. So the old noggin, it's working well.
One gets through.
Bunch of 5s and 6s.
It's 2 damage.
I just gotta tip the top of my hat off to Sean here for putting together a good show here for his play. He's doing pretty well. He's doing what he needs to do to keep his Wolfen alive and try and lock up stuff. He had some unfortunate saves, it looks like, in that Wolfen Squad C, down to 2. Couldn't quite lock up some stuff that he wanted to, but at the same time, you know, he's still got a Stormfang up, so he's got to focus that. We'll see how much of his other stuff lives, but once these 3 squads of Wolfen down, he's out of gas, so he's got to keep him alive. And unfortunately, I think Sean is out of command points, so he's gonna have to rely just on his straight dice, and no stratagems, no transhumans, none of that. So we'll see.
That's gonna be really rough. No transhumans on his really awesome squad.
Correct.
How many wounds are left on the flyer?
10 wounds, sorry.
You know what I'd like to see is I'd like to see these
10 wounds,
these
please.
scions
10
fail.
Wounds, sorry, I'm trying to
and then
keep the echo
those
down.
blood
so
claws go back there
and
and beat up all 15 of those. That would be fun to see.
I agree 100% on that.
Nothing would make me smile more to watch a couple blood claws just rough up some cars.
That would be pretty epic.
We've got the Scorpius who moved up along the side here. I think that's a good move. He's going to have to start putting some pressure on Sean's middle field here. And it looks like the only way to do that is with that Scorpius there, because everything else is pushed back. And now that all the Scions are down, Sean can really get loose with his positioning, because he knows where everything is now. He can, you know, avoid ranges. He can LOS stuff. So this is where he's got to keep his play tight and make sure he's paying attention to all the different angles that are coming his way from the different shots. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to stop the Scorpius with the LOS shooting, but that's just part of Kyle's list. You got to deal with it.
Right. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, it's kind of like when you play with units in Deep Strike versus when you play with units outside of Deep Strike. You know, once they come off the board, it's just a little bit easier to breathe. Looks like we had one Blood Claw die. There could be some more.
The Scorpius is going to put the Scorpius that can see it.
Well, if my math was correct, 3 of them will die.
Accurate.
Each squad will kill 1.
It's going to reroll 1s.
I'm just still curious what the plan with Najal is.
9 shots with stutters to start.
And I wonder if he is going to be closer.
Gun first, do the top gun.
I don't think so. I think those Wolfen A are going to be closer than Najal for that Scorpius on the edge there up the field. Looks like he got 4 wounds off. Here comes the saves. 2 dead. Oof. We'll just chalk it up to I don't know what part of the rolling sequence they're at.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track with the players. Usually we do a pretty good job, but there's like an echo that we can't seem to solve. So once we get that solved, I'll let you guys know. It kind of happens periodically in the games. So
2 guys.
And then it has D6 missiles.
Not that guy. Not that guy.
What was the minus on the main gun?
-1.
Looks like he accidentally took the sergeant that time and put him back.
Yeah, you're covered. What was the final weapon?
D6 missiles. Strength 7, -2, D3 damage. -2 each.
That makes it.
Looks like we had some models thrown off the table in anger.
That removed the squad.
There's 1 guy left.
All right, so looks like 4 died from the blood claws.
Lehman Russ in the back,
which
is
could be
going to
problematic.
shoot at the
He does have this
closest
rhino
squad
over
of
here.
Wolfen. No, sorry.
Now-
not the ones with one guy left. The one that has a full squad.
There are blood claws in the rhino. My dream could still come true. These blood claws in this rhino could come rough these guys up.
Yeah, I could definitely see that here in the backfield on objective 5. Is that correct?
Correct. So it looks like that's a 6-man squad of blood claws back there. Which one thing that's making me sad a little bit is that his 2 beefy characters, Logan Grimnar and the Wolfguard Battle Leader, are kind of like in an area where they can't interact with anything. You know, Logan's on foot, it looks like, so he's moving 5 or 6 inches a turn if he's in Terminator armor. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they're creeping along back here. Backfield.
You know, I don't know if I would do that with my characters that I need to get up and kill stuff with, unless there's like no gear on them. You know, I'd be running them straight up the middle. The rerolls is nice for the Stormfang, but you know, what's the end game there? So
Maybe
the
he just
Stormfang
wants his
shoots better
objective.
1 turn,
Yeah.
maybe 2, because now they're not gonna be able to keep up with it. And they're over here where none of Kyle's army. You know, Kyle's army is now all in essentially a big bubble around these guys. If you look,
Right.
so I think he's gotta move them up better. He's gotta get them up into the fight. I think that this battle leader here needs to come back with the jump pack and deal with these scions because he doesn't have a good option other than him and the blood claws. I think you need both to deal with all 15. Or the rhino. The rhino could lock up 2 squads so they can't shoot while he just murders them in close combat. These blood claws in the middle kind of need to stay there for a hold, maybe hold more. You could string them out and maybe get a couple shots, but I don't know if I'd do that. He's also got to deal with this Scorpius here. And, you know, he's got a good option there with Najal being able to come up behind this hill out of line of sight. Touch, you know, maybe not touch it. I don't think it will give him cover. But either way, make a charge out to that Scorpius because that'll stop it from shooting. But that all depends on these Wolfen again. But keep coming back to these guys, but they're the linchpin of the army. There's a ton of points here. It needs to live. They need to get up into these guts of this right side here for them to really be effective and really put well, I guess now it's West on his back foot.
Okay, then I will shoot the Leviathan.
The one
I'll have the
tank
Leviathan
commander
put
down here on the bottom right, I think
10 shots into
you might be able to get away with
the
just trying to touch him
not the
with
one guy,
Wolfen.
but he's gonna put flamers into the one guy.
But at the same time,
and then he's
you know,
going
he
to put
hurts.
10 into
He could
the
probably he's
closest
probably
Wolfen
going to kill this
squad and 10
Stormfang
to the
next turn with
farthest away
this
Wolfen squad.
tank commander with the plasma sponsons here. I don't think the Stormfang lives that. It's going to hit on 4s, rerolling 1s. With the battle cannon and the plasma sponson and the last cannon front. With only 10 wounds left, I don't see it.
Nope,
I mean, some dice could happen, but... So over here, it looks like we've got some saves being taken. Some feeling no pains on the Wolfen,
Don't forget he rerolls 1s to wound.
possibly.
Yep, there you go. 5 of them.
All right, 3 up. 3 up. That's 3. 4. And that one goes through.
You know, it's interesting to watch people roll dice when you don't know what they're doing. And it's just... it's kind of funny.
Oh,
There's still, like,
the
12
Wolfen are
left
dead.
there.
I mean, there's only... there's still one dude there.
In the squad,
That's
eh?
true.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
He's got to make 4 feel no pains here.
Nope.
Okay, it looks like he was doing some re-rolls, and now he's got some feel no pains going out. Oh, does he only take 1
Rerolling
wound?
1s to wound as well.
Yep.
Squad A is how many left? 3.
Depends.
So
I
we
think
gotta
he
go
only
3
takes one wound.
3 shields at a time. Okay, one of them,
I think they're rolling into squad A right now.
and he dies off the back. That's 3 of them. 2 more. First one dies. Second one dies. And then all these need to be 6s. Nothing.
Oh, I think an entire
do you
unit of
take
Wolfen
the
just got wiped
last
off the
guy
board
takes
by the
a million
Leviathan.
damage.
That's what I think just happened.
So that squad's
That's
up.
nuts right there.
So then 10 on the second squad.
I think West went 1 arm at each one, which is a good move.
9 more.
If he doesn't clean one up, he can use the Scorpius back here to clean it up,
The second squad's
or this
still
tank commander too.
full capacity, so we'll do 4 shields.
I mean, this Kyle's list is just so much firepower.
Takes 1.
I agree.
So
we'll
how
lose
would
1
you
off the
deal
back.
with Kyle's list playing your Grey
4
Knights?
of them.
Okay, well, that's not fair.
3 more.
I've got a bunch of
All
psychic
fairness,
power.
all
Okay.
fairness. You don't have to say that. Okay, that's fair.
And the last
How about
one,
how would you deal with Kyle's list with Steven's list that you played last night?
You know,
One guy off the back.
I think Steven's list might give him some problems.
Why do you say that? That's it. That's an interesting counter.
There are 3 hammers
That-
and 1
with-
claw left in the ruin.
It has mostly to do with the
and 1 claw
terrain,
left over in the middle of your pile.
because Steven has shining spears.
Sorry, where's the?
He can go out and touch some of the stuff that normally wouldn't be able to be
It's right next
touched,
to Valium.
because he can pull up behind these ruins here and get a quicken off and then jump 16 inches over the ruins. So if Kyle were to deploy everything on the back line, is the only way to not get touched, and that gives his Wraith Knights time to get up the board, and that's what's going to make the difference, is that he can bully with the shining spears. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I think if it does, that's a big turning point. It all depends on this Mortis guy for the matchup, actually. If he dunks a Wraith Knight, I mean, it's hard pressed to dunk a Wraith Knight with one Mortis guy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like if he does substantial damage to a Wraith Knight, that can greatly hinder Steven's list. Now, I will tell you how I'd fight this list with my Grey Knights, and it's pure, cut, dry, simple. You know, I just gate my Paladins around. If he doesn't use the guys for a screen, the Scions, he's gonna have to use the Scouts. Which, if he does, I'm gonna pick up kill more turn 1. I'll let him hold more because I don't need to get max points first turn. But he definitely will not
So we're
kill
not gonna
one
go back and
if I
forth
have
up
a
here.
Paladin bomb and all my
Just have
characters in that
negative
ruin.
Yeah.
The disintegrators aren't enough. You know, in cover I have a 2-up save against the disintegrators. So he gets.
And you have the apothecary
9.
too to res any
It's not my fault.
models that died.
I don't know. I don't think it changes
Yep.
the outcome of this game terribly.
So I think first turn, he's gonna come out with a couple secondaries, maybe a recon point if he picks recon. He's gonna get hold more, but I'll get kill and kill more. So I'll only be like a point down, and I will have cleared his screen. And if I haven't, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
And once his screen is cleared, and I'm dropping down, you know, another Paladin squad or you know 6 strike squads and popping the Smite stratagem, you know, I can deal a ton of damage to those vehicles rather quickly. And then the return fire is not going to do a whole lot unless you're shooting my strikes.
So I had a question for you on this one. I know Kyle went second. Was that the right move for him?
Yes. With the big ruin in the middle, if Sean doesn't advance forward, he just keeps losing turn after turn of time not in combat.
Fair point.
And if Kyle goes first, Sean can hide everything behind the ruin, and Kyle gets no shots.
What's Angry Tech Marine do?
The only thing that's going to shoot is the battle cannons
He has
on
two
the
servo arms attacks to start with.
tank commanders at the
-1 to hit,
Stormfangs,
so
which
hitting on
all three of them
causes
shooting at
bonus
-1,
attacks.
probably not going to happen to kill
Right.
one. You might injure one, but probably not. So I think,
Hey, Bam. Yep, this is still turn 2, unfortunately. We had some technical difficulties, but a lot of things are dying.
All right, what's the AP?
As far as models left,
You got 2 of them right here.
Sean just has this one Wolfen that is now in melee combat with this Tech Priest. Or, excuse me, Tech Marine. Let's see. Wolfen B has 4 left. Wolfen C or Wolfen A squad is gone entirely.
Other than that,
So, there is, you got Najal, you have Bjorn, no, excuse me, Logan and Wolfgar Battle Leader. You got Stormfang. You got one Blood Claw that survived. You called it, Ben, right there in the corner.
Yeah, the Blood Claw.
Right here, good call. And then we got a Rhino with Blood Claw inside as well. So,
4 + 4.
I feel like losing a squad, almost losing 2 squads has really been detrimental to Sean's game right now.
Did you rip your sergeant off?
well, at least he still has 4 Wolfen left over there.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a 4 into a 4, so 4 + 4
But you know what? That's enough.
is higher than their.
I think what I might try and do is hide behind this,
Their Blood Claws.
charge off on this Leviathan,
Yeah.
and just try to wrap it until it's dead.
All right, Kyle, I would play this if this was a real tournament, but you're trying to play through a proxy, and I just ran out of gas. Like we can hit some stuff and get a few more kills, but I'm satisfied if you are.
I am, man.
One of my favorite things to do to these Scorpius Disintegrators when I'm playing my Eldar is to charge them with a Wave Serpent.
Appreciate
So
it. It was a fun
fun.
game. I mean,
Hey, sounds like they're about to call the game because Sean sounds like he ran out of, feels like he ran out of gas, losing 2 squads of Wolfen. Ben, do you feel like that's accurate?
100%.
Okay.
Thanks for a good game. Really appreciate it. Hope
It's unfortunate, but I don't think 4 Wolfen are going to power through a Mortis Dreadnought, a Leviathan Dreadnought, a Primaris Lieutenant, the Tech Marine,
yes,
and the 2
yeah. Thanks for all the help. Thanks for getting this
Disintegrators, especially with Logan Grimnar and the Wolfguard Battle Leader way out of position over there.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything you could have done differently? Maybe position the characters to go behind the Wolfen?
All right, thanks, guys. I'll sign off,
yeah, you guys.
and I'll
You know,
I'll go fix my tech problems.
I'm not sure
All right. Yeah, good night.
there's a whole lot to be done differently.
No worries. Good night, guys.
It's hard because this Kyle's list is just all shooting.
Right.
And
Right.
you see here that once the Stormfangs went down, he is literally out of gas. Like there's no shooting left.
Yeah. So,
So he's
score this-
relying on
Go ahead.
Wolfen making charges to wrap to stop
That wasn't the
the
issue,
tanks
guys.
from
The issue
shooting.
is I need
And at this point, there's just too many tanks up. There's not enough long range shooting in Sean's list to deal with this amount of armor and have the Wolfen survive. The Wolfen down to what they are now, it's too much. There's no way.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
There might be a way to play the mission, and because I think he has a substantial point lead at the current moment.
No, it was actually 6-4. At the actually 8-6. Yeah, 8-6 at the bottom of 2. But I mean, it would have been a slow death after this. I think Kyle would have definitely probably killed all the Wolfen the next turn for sure. And then after that, just score points. And so, you know, I think we're all here to have fun, but Kyle definitely sounds like he would have pulled out the W. So we'll just mark this, you know, 28-8. Actually, it would be what 12 on the bottom, right?
Yes.
And then 16 plus 4 is 20. So
Actually, in the new ITC missions, you score the bonus when there's a conceit.
oh, okay, so it's 5. So that's 20. Thank you, Sean. I like math, but I'm not okay at it. Yeah, 36-8. So.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me shoutcast, Jason.
Hey, no problem.
Been
We'll
a
have you on
blast.
again. I think you had fun. I think you enjoy it. We'll have you on with Doug. Doug is really good if you're available. Hey, we'll stay for a second, Ben. I got to talk to you a few things. But we guys appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to check out our website, lordmarshall.org, and click on Quarantine Hammer if you are interested in all the matchups. We'll go ahead and update that just really quick. The next game that we're going to have is Cullen and Duncan tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So Duncan has 9-1 odds in winning that game. And Ben, do you think that's accurate?
Nope. I think Duncan's a good enough player. If he goes first, he's going to win that game.
No way. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Ben giving Duncan props. So that rarely happens, but good for you, Duncan. Way
Don't
to
mess
go.
us up, Duncan.
All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching. This was a kind of a quick game. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And stay safe and enjoy 40K.